I thought we would talk about loneliness, maybe the touch starvation epidemic, like a male loneliness epidemic
Yeah, it's like a lonely epidemic for sure.
for humans in general.
I kind of think so. But like I
Yeah,
think yeah, men are like one of the main loud groups of it all, and that's not by mistake, but like every day I'm just witnessing more and more disconnection in our society.
complacency, hopelessness, feeling like a victim. Like you get stuck on that like hopelessness and you don't want to change. Like it's weirdly comfortable being lonely at times. I think that's the dirty little secret.
Yes, and I think that's especially because what I'm like realizing these days is that in order to change, that requires a lot of like emotional labor and a lot of vulnerability and a lot of pain. Cause like, how can you just change your loneliness until like you look at things from a different perspective? And that just automatically requires pain. So it's like people don't want to feel pain. There's a comfort in staying where they're at because in order to do the work to change, they're gonna have to like unfortunately face a lot of pain if they actually want to go down that rabbit hole of healing.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to judge people who didn't want to change, like people that would maybe complain. I don't know if complain is the right word, but we'll just use it. Would complain about their unhappiness and their loneliness. And I used to judge them and be like, stop being a pussy. Just like, shut up and man up and change and all of that. And obviously that doesn't really help saying that. That just makes the person feel more isolated. But these days, no, I don't judge anyone who says, I'm an incel or I'm lonely or I'm unhappy. I'm going to quit the dating market. Screw women, or some women say the same thing, screw men. I'm not going to change. It's like, no, I get it. Like, I'm not going to tell you that you're just suddenly going to become happy because you decide to. Yeah, it might require a lot of self examination. It might require you looking in the mirror and saying, why am I lonely? Why don't I have any friends? Why don't I like myself? And you're right, that can be. I'm hesitant to say like it will be painful, but at the same time, like that's kind of true though, right? Like, and it doesn't have to be miserable and suffering and horrifically painful, but like there is some pain that comes in examining yourself, some discomfort maybe.
Yes, 100%.
It's a challenge. It's like I get it. I see why so many people on your channel and some on mine will complain and say this sucks and it's not fair because there is like a comfort. There's almost like a brotherhood in complaining about women. Like I see that on so many of your videos. Like they form a community around like not quite hating women, but like being frustrated at women, and that almost becomes your community or your brotherhood or your identity.
100%. And recently I started like researching different personality types and things like that. And I think BPD is like an interesting personality disorder. Granted, I have my whole spiel when it comes to personality disorders and like mental health and labeling yourself. I'm not really about labeling yourself, but I know
because
yeah.
because it's so restricting, because you get stuck on that label and you don't expand outside of it.
Yeah, that's one problem with labeling yourself. It's indefinitely restricting. For some people, it might be freeing, I guess. Like, I could see it like this is exactly what I'm looking for. Like, I need to be told something. But labels can keep you unconsciously stuck. And that's like because it becomes an identity. And that's my issue with like labeling yourself. So that's always been my issue with certain personality disorders types and things like that. But BPD, like that personality mental health issue in particular, it has a lot of symptoms of black and white thinking, um suicidal ideation, putting people on a pedestal and like taking them down. A lot of like lonely features or extreme features like resonate with that. And I think like one thing that, and I'm not saying that everyone has BPD, because I think that a lot of people in this community, myself included, can suffer from the symptoms of BPD without having like the personality diagnosis as a whole, like not trying to diagnose anyone. But one of the main things in that personality is looking at things from black and white, and it's a trauma response. So I think that the comfort of like blaming all women, that's a very black and white way of thinking. And on a lot of my videos, I try to just challenge a little bit of nuance. Like in like this one video I did on cheating, and I got such hate for it. And it was like the community couldn't hold space for the nuance. Like I was just trying to say cheating is nuanced. Like there's more to it. It's much deeper. And like people were like, cheating is bad, it's immoral, it's wrong. It's just like it's so black and white. Like there was not even space for discussion. And I was like, whoa. Like I was not in, like I get hate, but like that response, I was actually kind of intrigued by it. I was like, this is next level. Like we're not having any capacity to hold nuance in this conversation whatsoever.
Yeah, the video that I've done two videos that have gotten the most like downvotes and negative comments. The first one was women are actually really nice. And I
Yeah.
talked about how there are lots of women out there that are really nice. And I just thought it was a little happy video. I talked about my own experiences. I
Yeah.
talked about my coaching clients. I said so many of them are, you know, especially the guys who haven't met many women, maybe they're incel or whatever. They will go outside. They will start talking to a woman. They'll see her on the street. Maybe they say like, "Hi, you know, you're pretty. I wanted to say hi." And she's like, "Oh, thank you. That's so sweet. I have a boyfriend, but like, thank you." And they'll come back and they'll just be blown away. They'll be like, "Oh my God, she didn't call her feminist allies and start shooting me on the street. Like, she didn't call me a piece of shit, ugly, disgusting
Right.
creep. Get away from me. She was a human being to me. She was nice." Like, that's what most human beings are like if you go outside. On the internet, it paints a different picture. You think that women are dangerous and scary and they hate you, and a lot of women think the same about men. You go out there and they're nice. That was the video. And that got like the most downvotes of any video. All these people saying, like, you live in some delusional world. Like, you know, you shouldn't be telling men to go out and say hi to women. Like, we live in 2025. Like, these guys are going to go to jail for talking to women. Like, just it's very like binary and black and white thinking, and there's a deep weird comfort in that,
Yeah.
even though you and I look at that and go like, this is the reason why you're unhappy,
Right.
but it's hard to escape out of that.
Yeah, the more you challenge the black and white narrative, the more like ego backlash or more backlash just in general you're gonna get because it's
The
like,
ego
yeah,
hates being told
yes,
it's wrong. Holy shit.
yes, yes, it does. It does. Yes. And it's like, yeah, it's like the more ego backlash you're gonna get, because like the mind wants to protect itself. Like that's its ultimate goal is just to protect itself. So by thinking
Mm,
that like all women are bad, like there's a lot of protection in that. And the
mm,
minute you like drop a sprinkle of challenge for the narrative, it's like, wait, no, if one woman is not bad, that means that there might be more. And if there might be more, then maybe they're not, maybe it's a majority. And then it turns into this like spiral. And then it's
mm.
like, now I'm questioning my worldview, and my worldview is like what
Yes.
kept me alive. Yeah,
Yeah. It feels like having the rug pulled from under you. I went through the same thing because I years ago I was very into the red pill stuff, which is similar to a lot of your audience and what you're trying to help them heal or work through or add in a little bit of nuance. And to be very clear, you know, I'll speak for you. You don't come in and just tell everyone that they're wrong. Like you're just trying to introduce a little nuance. You're trying to make these motherfuckers happy who keep saying, I'm sad, I'm lonely, I'm unhappy. And you're like, well, maybe it's because you fucking hate women, but then simultaneously wish that you could have a woman. Maybe those two things aren't quite compatible. Let me help. Anyway, I went through all the red pill stuff and I was in exactly the same boat. I thought women were the cause of every problem in society. I thought that women sucked. I thought that they were just liars and manipulators. Like every concept you could ever come up with, I bought it hook, line, and sinker. And it took a good, like, goddamn, Amanda, maybe 2 years to slowly work through that and unravel that. And it all culminated in this one moment where this girl that I had been dating casually for a year just was unconditionally kind and loving to me and never once did anything that I could even remotely say was manipulative. And finally, I just had this one moment where it all just fell apart and I was just standing on the street corner going like, "Oh my God, like she's not manipulating me." I've finally admitted it after 1 year. And then in that moment I was like, "Wait, if she's not manipulating me and she's not a bad person, are there other women in my life too And then all of a sudden, I was like, well, wait, my mother doesn't manipulate me. Why did I never see that before? Wait, my sister is like lovely. My auntie, and then my other auntie, and my grandmother, and my other grandmother, and then this woman, and then this female friend, and then this girl, and then this family friend. And it just, it was like this house of cards that finally just fell down. And that was insanely confronting. It was freeing, but there was this like rage of almost like I've been lied to, and more to the point, I've lied to myself, or I just went along with the lies. All the shit that I read online that said women suck, women are the problem, women are this, women are that. I feel like an idiot for believing that. And I wasn't an idiot, I was just naive and innocent. You know, we don't mean to believe the things that we believe. We almost have no choice in it until we wake up to the truth. But yeah, I get why it can be hard for someone like you or even me sometimes to jump in there and say, like, you're capable of love, like, you're capable of a relationship, you're a good, beautiful person. Women aren't the enemy, because it really does require you letting go of a worldview. Like, straight up, literally, you're right, a worldview.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a really great point because I think that sometimes like the worldview does come from this being naive, and
Mm,
actually it comes from a place of ignorance. Like it's not
yes,
like you developed a worldview like based on like it's not like somebody's developing the worldview all women are bad and I'm lying to myself and I'm just like consciously telling myself a lie and I'm just believing it. Like when the worldview starts like getting stripped away or peeled down, it's like you part of you literally didn't even know. Like you genuinely thought
yes,
that all women were bad and unsafe. And women do
yes,
the same exact thing. That's like this is the thing. Like women also do the same exact thing. Like women that have been burned or like something like this, they think like all men aren't going to be secure in their attachment. They're going to be insecure in their attachment in some kind of way because that's just like my experience with men. So then when they like meet secure men out there that are secure with themselves, it's like wait, this actually exists. Like it kind of it can definitely go both ways.
yeah. And I like to phrase it in a funny way. We're bad scientists, or the ego is a bad scientist. What I mean by that is all of the men or all of the women that come to a conclusion where they say this entire gender sucks and they're all bad, you haven't met the entire gender. And you're being a bad scientist because your sample size is like 10 people, maybe 20 people. Maybe go crazy and say you've met 50 people that you didn't think were very nice in that gender. Great. There's like 4 billion left of them to meet. And just because 50 weren't what you were looking for, go meet the other 4 billion. You're also being a bad scientist because you're not aware of your own insane bias. If you go around saying women fucking suck, women are the problem, women are everything that's wrong with society, what reaction do you think you're going to get from those women? Like, how do you react yourself if other people call you a bad person? You immediately go, fuck you, buddy. You don't even know me. And so, like, what reaction do you think you're going to get when you hate an entire gender? And so, we're just messy scientists or we're naive scientists. We're introducing our own bias and then we have a tiny sample size and we're drawing conclusions, like you said, black and white thinking. We're drawing conclusions from little nuggets. Like maybe one time a woman just says, oh, I have a boyfriend. No, thank you. And we're like, see, women are rude.
Yeah.
And it's like that's like not the correct conclusion to draw from that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it becomes even trickier when like something does traumatic happen with somebody that's like a woman
Yeah.
thing. And then it's like, okay, now I'm like not accepted. Or like I feel like a lot of the people I'll just like based on my own experience, whatever. I feel like there are times in your life where you're just in a dark place, and for whatever the case, you're just like like you'll experience like maybe a couple years of just being rejected, just in so many little ways by so many different people, or maybe just like a
Yeah.
year of your life, like you just like it was just like it was like one bad thing on top of the other. And the issue with that is that that then like forms and that like shapes into a worldview and then it like lives within you and it becomes this beast and it becomes this monster. And like it's because like yeah, you were in a dark place and for whatever the case, the people that you were surrounded with at that time did not accept you. And
Yeah.
but now years later down the line, it's like you're not surrounded by those same people anymore. There are like
Mm.
neutral people that don't dislike you as much, but it's so hard for your mind to like not live in the past because it's almost like the trauma like doesn't know time and time is just an illusion. So the trauma like gets stuck and it gets frozen in the past.
Yeah, and we extrapolate from that. So we say, I went through a traumatic experience, or maybe multiple traumatic experiences with someone of this gender. Therefore, everyone of that gender is going to give me the same experience. And
Yes.
what's even more insidious or painful is then when we take that and we blame ourselves, which is, a lot of guys in your community and some guys in my community. So they'll say,
Yeah.
I'm too old, I'm too short, I'm the wrong race, I'm too fat, I'm too ugly, I'm this, I'm that. And again, drawing conclusions
Yeah.
falsely from like
Yes.
only a tiny little sample size. Like just because someone didn't like you or wasn't nice to you doesn't
Yeah.
mean that you're ugly or unlovable. It might say more about that person. Maybe they're going through their own pain. Maybe they're, bullies. It's the classic meme. Bullies or unkind people have been bullied themselves. Like happy, content, loving, peaceful people, generally speaking, are pretty nice to others. And so if you had some traumatic experiences from someone else, they were probably going through their own shit. It doesn't mean that you're ugly or unlovable or worthless.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a great point. The internalization of it all. Just like,
Mm, mm.
yeah, because then it happens and then you have to make sense of it. Like, because your mind is going to try to problem solve. Okay, I've been rejected for like 2 years in a row by like multiple sources, like not even just like women, but like my boss or a coworker or
Yep.
friend. And like I've experienced so it's gotta be me. And then now not only are you afraid of rejection, but you are carrying the burden of insecurity because you think something is wrong with you.
Yeah, and taking it as an identity, it's that. It's not
Yeah,
just saying like, oh, okay, maybe I could improve my approach or like the way I communicate or something. You're saying, no, 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 no. It's hopeless. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm just a failure. And
right.
obviously that's where self-improvement jumps in. It's like, okay, if you approached, let's say you talked to 50 women and you asked 50 of them out and all 50 said, ew, no, thank you, which is not whatever happens. But if they said, ew, gross, no, okay, instead of internalizing that and saying, wow, I must be gross, if you can almost zoom out a little bit and say, okay, is there something that I could do a little better next time? Is
Yeah.
there something I could improve about my physical appearance? Is there some way I could communicate a little more honestly? Did I maybe just do it in a way that came off as a little creepy or something? Is there a way to come off as a little more comfortable or safe to be around? Like, what can I improve? And just taking those tiny little improvements. But again, people will often just say, I must be a failure. There's nothing I can do. It would be the equivalent of picking up a basketball for the first time in your life, shooting, and you completely miss because you've never thrown a basketball ever in your life. And you go, holy shit, I'm not athletic. I'm a piece of shit. I don't deserve to ever play sport. I should just sit inside and never play basketball or any sport really with anyone. You know what? As a matter of fact, I probably shouldn't even just talk to human beings because they're going to know that I'm bad at basketball and that I'm just worthless and pathetic. Like anyone would hear that example and just be like, what are you talking about, dude? You just need to practice shooting the basketball. What do you mean? You just didn't know how to do it. But yeah, when it comes to dating and relationships, like relationships with other human beings, we have this tendency to take it so personally. And
Yeah.
instead of just saying, maybe I'm not great at dating, let me practice, we go, I'm not great at dating, therefore I shouldn't even exist. Like that's an extreme version, but that's some guys, right? Like I
Yeah.
just I shouldn't be here.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. We solved it. No, I'm kidding. Yeah.
I mean, like, no, it's not even solving. Like half of this shit is just like, this as well as me. Like the real crux or the real difficulty of the challenge of like what you're doing and what I'm doing is like you're
Yeah.
trying to give these guys a hug and just be like, there's nothing wrong, and they're like, yes, there is. I don't have a girlfriend, and you're like,
Yeah.
it's not because there's something wrong, my man. Like, if we could just get you to like yourself a little bit, if we could just get you to accept yourself a little bit, if we could get you to just like put a little smile on that little cute little face and like walk up to a woman and just be like, hi, how's it going? And
Yep.
not worry about whether or not she likes you or rejects you or any of that shit. Like, if we could just get you to realize that you're okay right now in this moment,
Yeah.
then you would be okay. And they're like, but I'm not okay. And
Yeah.
like, that's the big like chasm between you and then the person you're trying to help is they think they're not okay. You can see that they are, but
Yeah.
you can also see that they're suffering. And it's like, how do you get them to see that everything's okay when their entire worldview, they wake up every day and just say, I'm not okay, 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 repeated ad nauseum thousands of times.
Right.
That's kind of what you're trying to break through. It's almost like that identity of the person who's not okay. Because this is
Yes.
what they're telling themselves all the time.
Right. Right. And that's because, like, in exactly what you're explaining, that's so true. And it's like in that moment, you're coming at them with compassion, or you're coming at some of their parts with compassion. And
Yes.
compassion to an unhealed person is like, I don't know, like the poison apple to Snow White. Like, it just does not work. Like, it's really,
Compassion to the person who fucking hates themselves sometimes just comes across as like condescending, patronizing. You don't really get it.
yeah,
Uh, Stop being nice to me. I'm a piece of shit. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
You have to like open yourself up to let yourself receive the healing compassion. And that takes a lot of work. Yeah.
that sentence. Let's zoom in on that a little bit. So, for all the guys who are like deeply, deeply, deeply lonely and think that they're worthless and like, deep incel or maybe deep black pill or red pill, what you just said there, you cannot even accept compassion or kindness if you don't accept yourself at least a little bit first. Like you literally will just be cynical around kindness. If a woman is nice to you, you'll think that she has some secret agenda or she's trying to
Yeah.
get something from you. You will almost run away or you will self sabotage or you will actively even push her away and punish her because you're like, what the hell kind of game is she trying to play? Why is this woman being nice to me? And you see that a lot in your YouTube comments. So, like, what is this Amanda chick trying to do? Like, why is she even doing this? And it's like, maybe she just wants to be nice. And so at the same time, you have guys that are very, very lonely, very deep in the, incel sort of stuff, saying, why won't a woman be nice to me? It's like, because every time they fucking try, you push them away.
Right.
Like, you don't trust their niceness.
Yes.
You simultaneously want them to be nice to you, but then you feel really confused when they are because it doesn't fit your worldview. And it's like, that's literally the reason why you're not having results in dating because anytime a woman even tries, you shove her away. And then you're like,
Yeah.
why don't any women want to get close to me? It's like, they're trying, buddy.
Yeah.
They're trying.
Yes. Yes.
It's like self rejection or rejecting them
Yes.
before they reject you.
Right. 100%. Yeah, because I get a lot of comments like, is this a comedy channel? Is this satire? Like, they don't believe that I'm like being serious. Like,
A woman genuinely trying to fucking help you guys. And like, yeah, but that's what our egos do when we're like hurt.
right.
We just want
Right.
everyone to fuck off. And then we're
Right.
lonely when everyone has fucked off. And we're like, why does no one
Yeah.
get close to me? And you're like,
Right.
because a second ago you told them all to piss off. Like,
Right.
do you want them
Right.
to come or go? It's like we
Right.
got to get clear about what we actually want.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And like that whole like what is her motive if she's like being nice? It's like I don't think or I hope people understand like I guess maybe in some sense it's self-serving, but like, I started this YouTube channel because I felt like I went through something similar and to help and I work with the people and like I'm in school for this type of thing and like the number one thing is like we have certain populations in life and you can relate to this if you're a helper a healer of some sort. Maybe your population is the elderly, maybe your population is women, maybe your population is like a certain group of people like immigrants, whatever. Like at the end of the day, like this is my population, and the reason why is because I resonate so much with this population within my sense of self. So by healing in quotes this population, I'm always going to be healing like that part of myself, the part that felt anxious and consistently, constantly rejected.
Yeah.
So maybe it's self-serving in that kind
I
of way, but like other than that, yeah,
yeah, I would say something sort of similar. Like, why do I help people? It's self-serving because it feels good.
yeah,
So like, there you go. There's your cynicism. And so when
Yeah.
guys will have a woman care about them, or maybe a woman shows some interest in them, and they're like, why is she showing interest? Like, what's her secret agenda here? Like, why is she being nice to me? Why is she talking? Maybe because she likes you. Maybe because she thinks you're attractive, despite the fact that you think you're the ugliest person on the entire planet. Maybe she actually just likes you. And every single time I have had a client that's like a virgin or just has very little experience, every single time I ask them, do you have any examples in your life of where a woman made some sort of move on you? That in hindsight, maybe you didn't know it at the time, but in hindsight, it was pretty obvious that she was making a move. And these are from some of the most like black pill or like incel guys who are just, I've had no experience with women, I've never even been kissed. Even them, they will always sit there for a couple of, for, 30 seconds and go, oh shit, oh God. Actually, there was this one girl, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe a long time ago, who literally kept flirting with me all night at a party and kept drunkenly touching me and all of that. And I felt uncomfortable because I felt unlovable and I felt ugly. And I thought there must be something wrong with her. Maybe she's
Yeah.
trying to get something from me. Maybe she's just stupid to be into me. I've had guys tell me like they had a woman sleep over at their house at a party or something, and she would straight up just get naked in front of them and get
Yes.
naked and basically throw herself at him, and he'd just be like, "Oh no, like she must be one of those girls. Like she's a slut or something to get naked in front of me." It's like, what is she supposed to do? Is she supposed to
Yeah.
just like start making out with you at that point? And then you go, oh, who would make out with me? I'm an ugly person. So there must be something wrong with her to make out with me. It's like, you're not trusting that
Yeah.
you're even worthy of being sexual or having a partner or love or any of that. And so then when people freaking try, you judge
Yeah.
them. You think they're
Yes.
stupid for making a move on you. And it's like, well, this is why you're lonely. And like that
Yes.
realization can be hard to wrap your head around, that you might be the cause without meaning to, like it's not to blame. You might be the cause of your own loneliness. And like
Yes.
that's kind of the heart of like, that's what you're trying to gently say on your channel. And you say it in the most gentle, nice way every time you say it.
Yeah.
And I try and say it in a nice way too.
Yeah.
But like,
Yes.
you're the point of origin of the loneliness.
Yeah.
It's starting here.
Yeah. That's a really good point, and I like the question that you ask, like, because I think people just like they get the story in their head, so they forget those past memories of like women that are like
Yeah.
throwing themselves at them. But my question for you is, because this is something that's interesting, if and like, and I'm thinking of this in like the most nuanced of ways, like in the most deepest of ways, like if you realize that, I don't know, let's say that you're pushing somebody away, that you're like that you're the, I don't want to say that you're the problem because that's like so blatant and it's not even meant to be like that black nor white, but it's like, how do you overcome like if you unconsciously accidentally pushed away somebody that actually um like wanted to be with you in some type of way, or like wanted to love you in some extent of the capacity of love, like some type of way this person wanted to love you, and like you uh your parts, your protective mechanisms kind of push them away. How do you forgive yourself for something like that? Because I feel like that ought to be one of the most painful experiences in life, is like being like, wait, I pushed away somebody I liked, because I didn't love myself enough. Like, how do you hold space for something that heavy?
To accept that you were doing the best you could at the time. Like you said the word before, I said it too. You were naive.
Mm-hmm.
You also said the word, you were ignorant. People hear the word ignorant and like it sounds like blame. So I like to use the word innocent. You were
Yeah.
innocent. You didn't know any better. You were literally innocent like a child.
Yeah.
I worked at I worked at Target years ago, and we had this mother
Target.
that came in one day to
Mhm.
buy her son a little Nintendo DS.
Yeah.
And she was explaining to me that this kid had saved up all of his pocket money to buy this DS, and she was very proud of him. And the reason that they were buying it was because he already used to have one 6 months ago, and one day it got a little bit dirty. And so he decided that he was going to fill the kitchen sink up with soap and dishwashing liquid and all of that and wash his,
Yeah.
gaming Nintendo DS. And like, it obviously broke.
Yeah.
And you could easily say, wow, this kid is ignorant. Wow, this kid is stupid. What a
Yeah.
dumb kid. How could he not know that? But it's like, no, he was innocent. To not know something
Yeah.
literally means that you're innocent. You don't have that little bit of knowledge and you're innocent. So if you were someone, or you are someone that is like pushing away people of the opposite gender or pushing away people that you're interested in, but you don't know why you do it, then you are literally innocent. Like you, and that's not to say like keep doing it. I'm not saying that. You can if you want to. You'll probably be very unhappy, but like you just literally don't have that information as to why you're doing it. And so the very first thing that I tell people if they're coming to this realization of like, shit, am I the problem? And I'd never say you're the problem, but like
Right.
that's how people start. That's how they
Yeah.
start though. They're like, am I the problem? Is it me? Like, am I the problem? It's like, start knowing yourself. Start
Yeah.
reading some psychology books. Start listening to my stuff. Start listening to your stuff. Start asking yourself, like, why am I doing this? And I
Mhm.
love to get people to ask that question, like, why am I doing this? And usually they'll ask it like this, right? They won't ask it as a question. They'll go, why am I doing this? And it's
Yeah.
like, that's not a question.
Yeah.
That's not a question. That's an angry yelling at yourself
Right.
statement to beat yourself up. Say it as a question. And
Mhm.
they're like, okay, so deep breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Like, where is this coming from? And like, you're someone that's pretty good at answering that question for people, even though it's like their own question to answer. Like, I want to read a quote that you said in a video. There's something about just accepting powerlessness and not even trying that
Mhm.
makes us feel safer than trying at all. That's why
Mhm.
you do it. There's
Yes.
safety in saying like I'm a victim. Like being a
Right.
victim is very safe and painful, but
Yes.
safe.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. And part of it is like I think if you don't accept your powerlessness, then you have to be ready to accept the fact, like, maybe not like you made a mistake, but like you have to get ready to accept something else. And I feel like
Mm,
a lot of people take out their pain back on themselves. So
yes.
like even like people will even go as far to like self-harm in those types of
Yep.
cases when they're trying to hold space for that, like that like that mistake, because like you said, like they're just innocent, like they don't know any better. But like the minute they realize they did something wrong, especially based on childhood dynamics as well, if like they were a kid and like if they messed up as a kid and they were met with like more neglect, more hatred, like that type of thing, then what happens is like now to like kind of hold space for just like an innocent mistake, it's like, wait, now I need to like harm like I now I need to like go after myself because like I there's like a demon in me and I didn't even know about it, and the only way I can get it out is if I go after myself. It's like it's a very dark coping mechanism, also similar to like stuff with BPD, but it's just something that can happen when it's so hard to
Mm.
hold space for like the power you have in certain situations.
Yeah. Yeah. The trick is to wrap up compassion with taking responsibility. Like, and I like the word take responsibility. So like rather than blaming, which a lot of content on the internet, a lot of stuff just goes straight into blaming, especially in masculine circles.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of men's self improvement advice is just one man yelling at other men and calling them a pussy. Like
Yeah.
Andrew Tate is a really good example of that.
Yeah.
Um, there's obviously lots of women on the internet, like, you know, extreme feminism and stuff that will just yell at men and say, like, men are the problem. You need to man up. You need to stop being a pussy. And it's like, that doesn't really help. There's
Yeah.
no compassion in there. You're just yelling at them to be responsible. And like, why would they do that? What's in it for them? Like, why would someone man up just because you guilt tripped them and yelled at them? They've
Yeah.
already felt a shitload of guilt and shame. You piling more on doesn't compel them to go like, oh yeah, let me please run in that direction. That's why I say focus on the responsibility aspect and say, okay, what is in my power to change right now? If I'm not happy with my dating life, could I go to the gym and lose a little bit of weight? Would that make me a little bit more attractive? Could I work on my self love? Would that make me more attractive? Yes, it would. Could I work on my people skills? Like literally, especially for those in the community that are a little bit autistic. Like, can I literally just practice talking to human beings? Can I talk to one stranger a day? Like that's what I get a lot of my coaching clients to do. When they come to me and they have no clue how to even talk to women, I just say, just start talking to men as well. Go outside, talk to one stranger a day. Like you're
Yeah.
at the grocery store, just say one sentence at someone and hopefully they say a sentence back at you. Just practice that stuff. Like, what responsibility can I take to change things? But you got to wrap that up in compassion, because a lot of the time you're right. People will go, "Oh my God, I could have been talking to strangers all these years. What's wrong with me?" And they start like doing like, "What's wrong with me? Like, why did I not do this sooner?" It's like, calm down. Shh, calm
Yeah.
down.
Yes.
Everything's okay. You're doing it
Yeah.
now. You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
In the past, you did the best that you could. And now you're just going to do, some things that'll move you towards your goals. It's okay.
Yes.
We don't need the guilt and the blame. But I think guilt and shame are just like the go-to emotions,
Yeah.
maybe for most human beings.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
insidious.
They are. They are. And they will try to like wreak havoc. That's a really good yeah, that's a really good technique though. Like that's literally I think that's like that reminds me of like exposure therapy. I don't know
It
much about
is.
exposure therapy. Yeah, but I like that
It is.
reminds me of that. I also heard if you can't start with saying hello to especially like with women, if you have a lot of trauma with women specifically, and you can't start by saying hello to one. You can start by making eye contact with one female every single day.
Yes.
You can start there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have an approach anxiety program, and that is literally what's in it. It's like the first step. So if you can go outside and talk to women and tell them they're pretty and all of that, great. Go do that. Have fun. Good job. Proud of you. Wonderful. If you can't do that, go around just smiling at one woman a day or a few women. If you can't do that, that's okay. Don't chill. You don't need to beat yourself up. Go outside and try and make eye contact. If you can't do that, that's okay. Walk around outside and think about doing it. Like, look at a woman, you see a woman out on the street and be like, I wonder what it would be like to say hi to her, or I wonder what it would be like to smile at her. And then don't have to do it. Calm down. It's okay. We're not pushing you to do it. Just start thinking about it. And if you really can't do that, I've had like one or two clients who just go, I can't even go outside and think about it. Like, that's too scary. That overwhelms me. I say, okay, sit on your couch in the comfort of your home. You can have your little snacks and Doritos and Twinkies and whatever junk food you want to eat to self medicate to get through this. Sit on the couch and think about going outside, to think about smiling at a woman. There's always something you can do. Even if you are the most depressed, unhappy person in the entire world, just think for 10 seconds what it might be like to take action. Like, think about it. And that's the definition of exposure therapy. Yeah, you're just exposing yourself to the idea of doing it, and you start to get comfortable with the idea of it. And then something inside you gets a little bit of like confidence or something. You're like, well, I've thought about smiling at a woman 10 days in a row. Maybe today's the day I'm going to do it. And then you just do it. Like, everyone can do that. We're just so focused on like, I can't do it, therefore I'm going to like not even try anything. And it's like, there's always something you can do.
Right. Totally agreed. Like, and like the thing is me personally, I can't even like when it comes to like straight up cold, raw, cold approaching somebody, like just going right up to them. I can't really preach that because that's like I mean I it's not like I couldn't do it, but I would struggle to do something like that, especially when it's like just creating conversation. Like I can go up, ask a question. I can't like so I really admire that you can do that because like I can't like do that. And like but like the issue is like sometimes I feel like that can't be everybody's like approach because I feel like there's
That's
gonna be
not the starting point. Yeah.
yeah,
That's not the
yeah,
advice. Like, so much
yeah,
advice from men is like, just go outside and approach women. And it's like,
yeah, until you
bro, that's like
cry.
step, yeah,
Yeah,
that's like step 50. I can't even do step one. Like, why are
yeah.
you telling me to run before I can walk? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, because like I'm just like I like approaching somebody random in like I don't know, just like a public area, like especially not a social one, you know, like any public area. That would I would be so scared. Like I like especially to start conversation, like I would be so scared. But I yeah, that's a good point. Like you gotta run before you can walk. But I've heard like horror stories of people like and this is the type of pickup that I don't like. It's like people force themselves to like cold approach like this many numbers of women in a day. That to me, that's like no. I'm like so against
No,
that. I'm like
do you
that
know
is
what's funny?
yeah.
They often just build up a trauma response and then they quit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, or they break through that trauma response, but then they got all these kinds of other psychological issues that'll come up later in their,
And
yeah.
that's rare. I used to be a moderator on a forums called the Good Looking Loser forums,
Nice.
and he had a very, very hardcore program that you would work through to be able to like conquer your fears and beat your approach anxiety. It was pretty freaking intense to say the least. And I was a moderator on that forum for like 3 or 4 years. I am telling you, 98% of people who started the program quit because it was just too much. Like it was just not possible for the average person. And most of those people who would quit, if they did write something at all, they would never say like, I think this program is a little bit too much or it's just too intense. They would always say, I'm not good enough. I'm a failure. I should probably just quit. I knew I couldn't do this. Like they always took it personally. And so I think for a lot of guys, this is going to sound funny, but like going out onto the street and approaching women, no, that's not the advice that I give most people. Like, I'm not saying not to do it eventually, but like, I always start with the question to people, what do you want? And they're like, I don't know what I want. And I'm like, well, what do you want? Do you want to have a few more matches on the dating app? Would you like to go to social events like dancing or something and try that? Do you want to try meeting some friends at the gym? Do you want to try meeting some women outside? Do you want to go to bars and clubbing and stuff like that? Do you want to meet women at a coffee shop? Like, what do you want? What sounds appealing to you? And then we'll gently, lovingly move in that direction. And it doesn't have to be this big masculine, like, I'm going to go outside today and approach like 15 women. It's like you'll do that day one, and then day two, you'll fall in a heap and go, like, I can't do this. Well, I'm supposed to do that every day for the next like year. I can't do that. It took all of
Yes.
the effort and willpower that I
Yeah.
had to even be able to do it once.
Yeah.
I can't do that again. Like, that was
Yes.
too much.
Yes. Yes. No, I completely agree. Do you know who Todd V Dating is?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He's like
Yeah.
a he like I feel like he's done so much of that, but like I don't know why like he's coming to my mind, and not in a non shady way, no shade towards him. I don't even watch that much of his content, but like there's just something about his presence where I'm like, this man looks so exhausted, like behind the eyes, like there's something about just like his presence. I'm like, he just looks so tired, and like I just feel like that's like what like hardcore pickup for many years does to you. I
It
don't
can
know.
be a little tiring.
Yeah.
If you want an example of that, Roosh V would be the better example of that.
Yeah.
Who's a guy that he said he'd slept with thousands of women,
Yeah.
and he wrote a few articles. He was actually very honest and self-aware, which I really appreciated. He wrote quite a few articles towards the end before he quit and deleted his blog and took all his books off Amazon and just completely like ripped apart all of the stuff that he put out there. And in these articles towards the end, he was saying things like, I just feel really tired. I
Yeah.
feel so tired going out night after night. I have to keep up this appearance because I'm the pickup artist guy. Like everyone's looking to me. Like I've built this legacy. Like I'm supposed to be the guy that does this. Like, but I feel like I've lost my ability to connect with women. I feel like why am I even doing this? I've slept with thousands of women. The next woman doesn't make me feel any better about myself. Like there's something missing in me. And I'm not saying that every single guy that goes out to talk to women feels like that. Of course not. That's not even remotely what we're saying. But if you're doing it coming from a place of like force, like you're forcing yourself to do it, yeah, that gets freaking exhausting because you're
Yeah.
not doing it out of love. You're doing it almost out of like guilt or obligation. And
Yes.
that's why, yeah, I generally speaking guide people towards asking themselves, what do you want? Like go in the direction of like love, or what would bring you a little bit more joy, what might bring you some happiness or some excitement. Go towards that. And I'm a big fan of making all of these steps
Yeah.
easy. Whereas you're right,
Yes.
a lot of pickup stuff, not all of it, but a lot of it is based on guilt, like guilt tripping the guy that he's not out there right now approaching 15 women each day. And it's like, I don't think you need to be guilty about that. Like, just would you like to talk to some women? If you would, great. You're allowed
Right.
to like go outside and say hi. Like, it's not a big deal,
Right.
but it feels like a big deal.
Right. Yeah, you end up seeing some of these like legends in like the
Mm.
pickup
Mm.
field that have like Julian himself. Is that his name? It's been like a while since I've like gotten into all the pickup creators and stuff.
Mm.
But like he
Mm.
had like a whole fall from grace moment and now his content has completely changed. And he talks
Yeah,
about
there's another guy, the ginger guy. People in the comments will probably know who I'm talking about. He was from RSD, so from the same company that Julian was
yes,
from as well.
yes, Owen Cook,
Owen Cook, Owen Cook.
yes,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, his
yeah,
his content is a lot more now focused on like happiness and mental health and all of that kind of stuff. Still in the realm of like talking to women, but it's a lot
right,
more internal focused. Yeah,
right,
I've seen so much of that content. Even back in the day, there was a guy who wrote a book called "I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell."
yeah,
I can't
mhm,
remember his name. Someone in
yeah,
the comments is going to know him. Same
right,
thing. He went through the same phase, and then he was like, "Yeah, I think I want to focus on this marriage and kids and happiness thing." Like that's just unbelievably common because a lot of pickup artist stuff is just like a phase in that guy's life because it requires so much pushing.
yes,
Like
yes.
literally just because of that reason.
It's so much that's what I mean. Like it's got to be exhausting. Like
Yeah,
and that I'm not even coming at a place of like disrespect, just because like I could never do what like so many of these like guys did, and a lot of these guys are a legend at what they do, like of approaching
they're
guitar
really good at it. Yes, yes,
and being
yes,
charismatic. Or like I couldn't, like
yes.
that's light years away from where I stand feeling awkward 24/7. Like I couldn't even imagine. But I was like, when I was a kid, I don't know if I mentioned this to you. I don't know who I mentioned this to, but like when I was a child, I watched the TV show, and this is like a funny childhood memory looking back. I was in middle school. I like stole like my parents' laptop, and I'd go upstairs, and I was so gun ho addicted to the Pickup Artist, like that early 2000s TV show. And
Really? Okay.
yes,
Interesting.
it's funny I ended up in this line of work somehow, but like
Yeah.
that was what I was drawn to. And I wonder, do you know whatever happened to Mystery, like that guy? Because I would just
No?
like I can't find any, like I haven't like dug deep, but like I can't find like any trace. And like that was like I was a big fan of him when I was younger, so I'm curious as to what happened to him.
I'm looking it up while we talk. I mean, he's
Yeah,
still on Instagram.
yeah. He was like very tall. Like I remember he was being like 7 feet tall.
Oh, shit. He's still doing it. He's on Instagram posting.
What?
Ask Mystery. 55,000 followers. Yep. His name's Eric von Markovic. What
Yes,
a
yes,
cool name.
yes. Yeah.
What a cool name.
Ask
He's still
Miss.
doing it. He's coaching
That's
people, it
insane.
looks like.
This guy to me, he's actually like, oh my god.
Celebrity. He is,
Yeah,
right? Look, he's still on there.
I'd love to get this guy's autograph, meet him in person. Not even kidding.
Why don't you ask him if he wants to come on your channel? I'll ask him if he wants to come on my channel.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, could we do that? That would be
Yeah,
insane.
you can meet your hero.
Yeah, no, like literally, literally. I know the only thing is I wish like, yeah, I don't like even really have Instagram. I had an Instagram and then it got deleted, and then I just never even I had a girl for guys Instagram, and it had like 55 followers, and then it just got deleted, and I never bothered to re-download it.
Yeah, I don't put much on Instagram. I just put my motivational content on there, my little
Yeah,
like positivity stuff on there.
I'm on TikTok though. Like that's one thing. Maybe he's on TikTok, but yeah, that would be cool. I would love to talk to that guy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
That'd be
yeah.
cool. I spoke to what's his name? The guy before him, the guy who's called the grandfather of POA.
Is that Neil
Um,
Strauss?
no, no, before that. Um, whatever. I'll probably remember as soon as we get off this. Yeah, I'll remember as soon as we get off this. I did a collab with him, and it was really
Oh my
cool.
gosh, nice. Okay, well, if you
Yeah,
ever end up talking to Mystery, you're gonna like, I will beg you to link me because that is so cool. Like, see,
I
like there is like a geeky side to pickup that I love, at the same, like in spite of all my like problems with it.
yeah, no, me too, me too, me too. And the way that I usually phrase it as like is like, look, go and do pickup artist stuff if you genuinely enjoy that. But for the average guy, that isn't what he wants. Like most men only go to pickup artist stuff because they'd like to get a girlfriend, or they'd like to find love, or they'd like to have a little bit more sexual experience and have some fun and then settle down. Like That's why they go to pickup artist stuff. Pickup artist stuff is not necessarily the best for that. It works, so it's like good enough. I'm not saying don't go to it, but it's like it's almost its own tangential nerdy little thing. Like pickup artist is its own game that you're playing that isn't necessarily the most direct way to just have a girlfriend. If you want the most direct way to have a girlfriend, work on your self love, work on your appearance a little bit, walk up to women and just be ridiculously honest with them and say, hey, I thought you were really pretty. You know, are you single? I'd love to take you out for a coffee. You don't have to play all the pickup artist games. That's almost its own little like flair and like it is. It's very flair, especially someone like Mystery. It's okay. This is what pickup artist is. I want to phrase this in a funny way. Pickup artistry is to dating the equivalent of drag queen shows,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's like it's theatrical. It's like
Yeah.
beautiful. It's wonderful. It's like social dynamics. Like say this line. If she says that, try saying this and wear this cool outfit and do this. And like if she says this, you can make this joke and that will build comfort with her and she'll be like, "Wow, I'm so like." It's literally like a drag queen show. Like it's
Yeah.
theatrical, or
Right.
it's like Broadway. It's a Broadway musical version of just like
Yeah.
human relationships.
Right. Right. It was such a cool show that Mystery had. I'm sad that I couldn't go on. It didn't go on for that many seasons. It got canceled pretty quick. I think that there was like a lot of controversy. This was like around the early 2000s, and like around that time there was like a lot of controversy surrounding pickup. Like it kind of got
Mm.
canceled even though canceled culture wasn't like an actual thing back then. I'm pretty sure, like, granted, I've not looked totally into it, so I don't know if there's like something muddier in the waters, but I know that like I felt like it got canceled because yeah, it just like wasn't a culturally appropriate. But it was such a good TV show. I would kill to
Yeah,
see one. Yeah.
I can see why a lot of pickup artist stuff is underground and not considered like culturally appropriate because there is an element of deception in it. You are using techniques on someone who doesn't know what those techniques are. In
Right.
the same way that we have negative connotations around like sales techniques. Like
Yes.
we're interested in it, we find it enamoring. Like persuasion techniques. Wow, like it's interesting, but we all do sort of feel like there's something a little unethical about it because the woman
Yes.
or the person doesn't quite know what you're doing, which is
Right.
why I'm a big advocate of just walking up and being autistically honest and saying, I found you
Yes.
really attractive. I like
Yes.
you. Do you want to talk for a little bit? Do you want to go on a date? Like just being ridiculously honest about what you want and then giving the other person the opportunity to opt out if they don't want it.
Yes. Yes. The
Yeah.
autistically honest is awesome. Yeah, and
Yeah.
like why and like even for the other person that's like being disingenuous about it, it's like do you really want to date and have intimacy with somebody if they're only seeing like a very curated masked version of yourself?
Yeah.
Like
Which is why
yeah.
that's why I went away from all the red pill stuff was because after a while it just felt like I was constantly putting on a mask.
Yeah.
And the few times that I would let that mask slip, which was so rare because I was so terrified of people finding out the real me, when I would let that mask slip and be vulnerable, I had a few women go like
Yeah.
almost like a weird reaction because it's like you've been this person that I thought you were for the last like 3 months.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden you're being very vulnerable.
Mhm.
That's weird. Were you like, is something wrong with you all of a sudden? Are you not okay? Are you having a breakdown? Like, were you lying to me before when you were pretending to have your shit together all the time? And so that's where I think a lot of men feel that vulnerability is dangerous. They're like, no, I could never be vulnerable because the last time I was vulnerable, she had an ill reaction or she had a weird reaction. It's like, that's because she thought you were a certain way for the last like 3 months or 6 months. You suddenly just were vulnerable or you emotionally dumped on her. And she's like,
Yes.
what the fuck is going on? Like, it's not that the vulnerability is bad, it's that it wasn't there from the beginning. And that's okay. Just
Yeah.
next time, practice doing it a little bit earlier. Like, be vulnerable earlier and earlier until you can just be an emotionally available person, you might call it that, like vulnerable all the time.
Yes.
And
I
then there's
also
no incongruency.
Yes, yes. I also think weirdly enough, like I think women struggle sometimes with the same thing. in the
Mm.
courting, like in like the beginning months, like the courting months or whatever, it's like I think both people put on, I mean, as you should, like you're trying to get the other person to like you, like you're not gonna like like fart in front of them and like like dress terribly or something. Like you're gonna try to put your best foot forward, like, but like the thing is like then it becomes too theatrical and like neither person is
Yes.
actually being honest or like opening up or being like emotionally intimate, and like so then it just creates more anxiety in the dynamic. And then if one
Yeah.
person is always acting like emotionally cool, calm, and collected, like if in this scenario the guy is always acting that way, you'd be surprised that actually might make her feel less secure because she's like, wait, why am I the one with all these emotions and like he's just the one perfectly composed, and like then there's no actual relatability going on.
Yeah. I have done a couple of, or women that I've dated have written a couple of articles for my website on this
Yeah.
idea of like, the man always being like alpha and all of this and not being, him trying to be perfect. I'll read out a couple of quotes. So this is from my ex, Emmy. We saw each other for 7.5 years, and she wrote this really nice article about how I'm pretty, like me, Andy, I'm pretty vulnerable, I'm pretty honest, and all of that. And she said, at the start, I was looking up to Andy as a man that was very sure of himself, who always had his shit together. But quite often, this was a daunting standard that I thought I needed to match.
Yes.
Andy, however, was always very open and honest. She goes on to say, um, he admits sometimes that he screws things up. I know he has struggles. He tells me about them, and he reminds me that he wasn't always where he is now. This has given me permission to suck and has allowed me to open up, be honest about my flaws, and better accept the fact that I won't be perfect in this relationship either. He gives me permission to be human too. If anything, I admire him more because of his struggles. It's like that saying about bravery. You're not brave for not feeling the fear, you're brave for facing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is so exactly on the whatever I was talking about. Like that's like so on point. Like that's exactly what it does. It's so counterintuitive, but sometimes when
Yeah.
you're trying to be perfect and masculine and strong and emotionally calibrated and like just not have any of your emotions or show any of your mistakes or your human side, you end up alienating the person that you're with.
Yeah. So I always say, like, connection, whatever type of connection you want, just connection between two human beings requires trust.
Yeah.
Like, that is what connection is. What is trust? Let's get really autistic about the word trust. Trust is when you are vulnerable and the other person doesn't use that against you. And then
Yes.
you go, oh, okay, they could have hurt me and they
Yes.
didn't. I trust them a little bit. So trust or connection literally requires vulnerability. If you're
Yes.
never vulnerable, you won't be able to trust that they won't hurt you if you're vulnerable, which means you'll
Yeah.
never be deeply connected with them. You'll have some connection, but it will always just be a limited connection, like a surface level, shallow connection.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, this is a really great topic. Um, yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, also not to like end this short, but I do have to go kind of soon. Just
Let's
cuz
end
yeah,
this.
yes.
Let's
Alrighty.
end this. Where can people find you? Shout out your stuff. Maybe
Yes.
actually before we do that, what would you say is one takeaway from today's conversation that you want people to remember?
I really like what we just ended on. That was so good. And kind of what we talked about at the beginning. Like I feel like everything we covered at the beginning, like in terms of facing those parts of yourself, like I felt
Mm.
like we like I was like not kidding when I was like we figured it out. Cause like that is a lot of like the core of what's going on. So yeah, I like the ending and the beginning.
I like the focus on vulnerability. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where can people find more of you,
Yes.
Mrs. Amanda?
Yes. Yes. It is Girlfriend Guide for number 4 guys on YouTube, Girlfriend Guide for guys on TikTok, and maybe one day on Instagram, but not in this moment. Unfortunately. Unfortunately.
Amazing. Thanks so much. This was
Mhm.
fun. You're cool
Yes.
as hell. Go do your fun stuff, whatever you're
Yes.
doing.
Yes. Football's
I
on
will talk
tonight,
to you next time.
basically. Yeah. Yeah. Thank
Oh,
you.
shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go have
Yeah.
fun. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good
See
one.
ya.
Thanks for having me on.